like our shoes on the golden ground.
Hi, I'm glad you're here. This is home, where you come to reset your nervous system and rewire your week. I'm Kellyjo Coney-Khan, and this is your weekly reset. 5 minutes to steady yourself before you head back into the day. This week, our home had a visitor, a family friend staying with us for a few days, the kind of person who changes the rhythm of the house simply by being there. Nothing dramatic, just conversation stretching a little longer, meals becoming slower, the day widening slightly. One morning, we were standing in the kitchen talking about porridge. Real porridge, the kind that warms the whole room while it cooks, oats slowly softening in the pot, steam rising into the cool morning air, the sort of breakfast that feels like it belongs to winter somewhere far away. I was showing our helper how to make it, not in any formal way, just the quiet passing on of a small household ritual. We talked about maple syrup too, the kind that comes from the cold forests of Canada, where the air bites your cheeks and the trees give their sweetness slowly. A small drizzle is enough. Warm oats, a little maple syrup, the smell of it filling the kitchen. The three of us stood there for a moment, tasting it together. Something about that moment reminded me of something simple that many of us forget. Indulgence does not always mean excess. Sometimes indulgence simply means allowing yourself to enjoy what is already here. Warm food, good company, the quiet luxury of an unhurried morning. Our friend said something over breakfast that stayed with me all week. He said we take certain things far too seriously, especially the small fluctuations of life. A little weight gained, a little weight lost, a day when the body feels different. Nature does not behave like that. Trees grow wider one year and thinner the next. Rivers swell and shrink. The seasons expand and contract. Nothing in nature panics about small changes. Nothing in nature judges the small changes. The human nervous system is designed for rhythm like that, for cycles, for movement that expands and settles again. Later that day, we went walking. Not fast walking, not exercise walking, just the kind where conversation moves with your pace. We talked about memories, old stories, the kind that used to carry a bit of tension when they were fresh. Now they simply felt like part of the landscape of life. Something softens with time when judgment drops away. Dinner that evening was the same. No logistical conversations about schedules or responsibilities. Just stories, curiosity, laughter that appears unexpectedly. It reminded me of something important. Regulation often arrives through these ordinary moments, through warmth, through shared food, through walking beside someone rather than across from them, and through something else that is equally important, boundaries. At one point in the conversation, our friend mentioned something I loved. A boundary does not have to feel like rejection. It can simply be a gentle way of saying, where you end and where someone else begins. That idea stays with me. Boundaries delivered calmly do not push people away. They help relationships breathe. Taken together, the week felt like a quiet reminder. Enjoy the porridge. Walk slowly. Tell the old stories without judgment. Let the body fluctuate without panic. Set boundaries without withdrawing warmth. That might be the real meaning of mindful indulgence. Here are your 3 Nero nuggets for this week. 1. Warm food and shared meals regulate the nervous system more deeply than we often realize. 2. Walking side by side encourages calmer conversation because the body feels less confrontational and more collaborative. 3. Boundaries delivered with steadiness help relationships feel safer, not smaller. So this week, allow yourself something simple, a warm breakfast, a slower walk, a conversation that has no agenda. Sometimes the most nourishing moments are the ones we would normally rush past. Next week's episode is called Practical Magic, a gentle look at the small, almost invisible things we do or could do each day that quietly regulate a home, a family, and a nervous system, especially as life's circumstances shift. And parenting sometimes reshapes itself in ways we never quite expected. And in the coming weeks, I'll also be joined by a very special guest, the president of the International Trauma Institute, for a thoughtful conversation around self-regulation, co-regulation, parenting, and how our understanding of family, well-being, mental health, life just continues to evolve. Until next time, I'm Kellyjo Coney-Khan, and this is Home, your weekly reset.
Place when you slow it down. Throw off the rules like our shoes on the golden ground, and sway in the autumn breeze. You are beautiful when you look at me. Can you feel my